And my advice to you is stop just taking a number and falling in line. Learn to think for yourself. Make decisions for yourself. Is what this person telling you making sense, or are you being hypnotized? Hi guys, I'm Vanessa and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the cult pastor in Jamaica known as Kevin Smith. So just last month, it's like the entire Jamaica turned upside down. There was allegations of human sacrificing, and I'm not even saying allegations, this actually did happen. People did end up being sacrificed at the, what do you call it, Faith Temple Tabernacle or something like that. That was in Paradise, Montego Bay, Jamaica. No, I mean, I can't really get into all of the details of it, or this video is going to be forever. Anyways, if you want to find out what's going on, just go ahead and check it out. But this cult pastor in Jamaica, Kevin Smith, he was doing the most, and for the most part, he had like this cult-like following of people that were willing to do just about anything for him. So seeing this now, I started to think about other cult pastors in the past, and I realized that one thing is that, well, not even just one thing, but several things, these people tend to have a lot in common. So for this video, I'm just going to be going over some of the similarities that this cult pastor has with some of the most notorious cult pastors around the world. And I'm going to be comparing three persons: Kevin Smith of Jamaica, Jim Jones of America, and then the Russian Rasputin. Number one, these people proclaim to have healing powers. Yes, they claim to be able to cure cancer. I know one thing that I see more similar with Jim Jones and Kevin Smith is that they claim to cure cancer, and what they did, they'd use chicken liver and pretend that they got this out of the person as the cancer. Like they pretend like they took it from them as a cancer. So it's basically like a scam. So for example, someone will be coughing and they're not looking, they'll drop the chicken liver in their mouth and then they'll cough it up, because you know naturally they're gonna have the gag reflex. They'll cough it up and they'll collect it and be like, look, see, we got the cancer out. So that's one of the things that they use to trick people. No, I'm not saying all of this is fake though, because you know some people say black magic does exist and they go to different areas. I know what I heard is that they go to some places in Africa and they get some type of voodoo type ritual that gives them some type of demonic power so that they'll be able to do miracles like these. But you know, as far as that goes, it's just a myth theory. I don't know if it's proven, but it's hearsay so far. And then Rasputin, he also did the same thing. I think one of the most memorable things that he did was to cure one of the princes. I think he had hemophilia, which is basically just a blood disorder where if you get a small cut, you will just continue to be bleeding. And what he did was to cure him or prevent him from dying, because I think the prince got a cut while playing and he kept bleeding and the doctors couldn't stop it. At the time, what I know is that they were giving him aspirin, and for those of you who do not know what aspirin is, well, aspirin is a pain reliever, but it's also a blood thinner. And if someone has a hemophilia, which is a blood disorder, and they're bleeding continuously, giving them aspirin, of course, is going to let them bleed more. So Rasputin decided to take the doctors away. Now, many people theorize that the reason why this blood disorder was cured was, of course, because he stopped them from giving him aspirin. Because, of course, if he stopped giving the blood thinner, wouldn't the blood stop bleeding? Anyways, that's it for that one. I think, you know, this is one of the main things that the cults use to win people over, to perform healings. I mean, if you are not sick, of course, you know someone else who is, and people are always looking for healing, and seeing someone being able to do this, they're like, oh yes, let's go behind them. This is the leader. They all believe themselves to be godlike characters, like they think they are next to God, and that is because they believe in the power they have. For Jim Jones, His seemed very delusional and started very young. In his life story, there was an instance when he was, I think, 9 years old, when he went on top of a roof and said he was going to be able to fly. And he went up there and jumped off. He ended up breaking his arm, but he wanted to prove people that he could fly, and that's how delusional he was. Kevin Smith in Jamaica, he believed that his temple was the ark, and he was keeping the people from flood. And number 3, they use hypnosis as a means to recruit and control their followers. And for those of you who do not know what hypnosis comes in many different forms. Some people use music, repetitive words, and there's a lot of different type of manipulative hypnotic techniques that these people use. But basically in hypnosis, what they do is they put their followers in some type of a trance, and these people cannot break out of the trance until they let them out. And while they're in the trance, they're under their control. They can tell them to do just about anything, and that this is why they were able to tell these people to do some of the most ridiculous things, and they will believe and do it. I mean, people who are not crazy, just a regular, irregular person that's of sane mind, they can put them under their hypnotic spell and let them do just about anything. So number 4, they swung both sides. Now these people were interested in both men and women. Number 5, they first started off with those who were marginalized by society. The small minority groups like Jim Jones, he was advocating for black people, saying that they should be integrated into society, and was trying to end racism and discrimination. And of course that got him a lot of followers because people think he was doing a good thing. And then for Rasputin, he was sympathetic towards Jews at the time when they were being discriminated against. Lower class people, they were mostly appealing to them, and that's how they first started and built their following. And Kevin Smith as well started the same. The poor lower class people built their following until they were able to weave themselves into people of power, so that they'll be able to do their wrongs and get away with it just because they have strong ties with people in power. So they start off at the bottom with those who are marginalized by society, and then they weave their way up to the top. For example, Jim Jones, he was associated with a lot of politicians in the end. Rasputin was moved in with the royal family, and Kevin Smith, associated with politicians in Jamaica, a lot of persons at the head. I'm not even gonna name out. They all have loyal followers who were willing to kill for them. For Jim Jones, for those of you who remember that thing that they said don't drink the Kool-Aid, he basically had mass where his followers were willing to drink Kool-Aid laced with cyanide to lay down their life just because he asked them to. He gave them some irrational reason, and these people believed in him. They trusted him so much. They believed that he was this Messiah and everything that he said was gospel, and they were willing to drink cyanide to take their own life. And just the same, Kevin Smith in Jamaica, he convinced his followers to other people just because he said to do it as a means of sacrifice. And Rasputin was just the same. Number 7, they are self-proclaimed Messiah. All of them, some point in time, claim to have been visited by the Mary and were given visions that were telling them what to do and that they are the Messiah, and they all believe themselves to be prodigies, all higher and more superior than the rest of us. Number 8, these people were very promiscuous. All 3 were promiscuous, and at some point in their life, they were accused of sexual assault. Rasputin was accused of rape, but he got away with it because of his affiliations with the royal family. Kevin Smith, he was actually convicted in Canada for sexual assault of a man, and after that he came back to Jamaica, but a lot of people don't even remember about that, but it's been coming up recently. And then Jim Jones, of course, he was accused of rape also. So all 3 of them were accused of sexual assault, and they were very promiscuous. I know Jim Jones used to demand that his followers sleep with him. Kevin Smith was doing some questionable things, having low men strip in front of him. touching people naked, and just he was doing a lot too. Rasputin just the same. And even Rasputin in the end, um, after they killed him, they were afraid that he was gonna come back to life, so they burnt his body. Right? So after they burnt his body, they decided to cut his testicles off and save them, and I think they have it in a museum in Russia, in St. Petersburg, that you can go and look at. Yes. So number 9, a similarity with them is they were all killed, and surprisingly they were all close in age when they were killed. On a positive note, even though these people did a lot of bad, they also did a lot of good. And it was this good that they did that was able to, convince some of their followers to come to them. Because one thing that they say, when the devil is going to come to you to tempt you, he's going to come with a lot of good and a lot of bad and weave it in so that you be able to be convinced. They did positive things, but of course the positive things was just a lure in order to do bad in the end, in the grand scheme of things. So, this is one of the things that you have to be aware of. So conclusion, after all of this, what my hope is that you'll be able to see some of these signs that I pointed out as things that you can look for in cults, to see if you are a part of a cult, if you are being hypnotized, just some of the warning signs that you can look out for. And my advice to you is stop just taking a number and falling in line. Learn to think for yourself. Make decisions for yourself. Is what this person telling you making sense? Or are you being hypnotized? And especially when you're vulnerable and someone is trying to help you, be very vigilant. Make better decisions. Anyways, that's all I can say for this video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Let me know of any other similarities that you know of between these 3, Rasputin, Jim Jones, and Kevin Smith. And also, give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, if you want to see more content like this. And of course, my name is Vanessa and I upload content on just about every single topic. So if you want to see what I upload next, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.